Hear this clearly and without hesitation. Your life is not overlooked. Your effort is not wasted, and your persistence is not invisible. What you have carried in silence, what you have worked on without applause, and what you have believed in despite resistance has been fully accounted for. There comes a moment when preparation meets opportunity, when endurance triggers acceleration, and when what felt delayed suddenly arrives with force. This is not a season of explanation. This is a season of manifestation. You have been doing the work long before the results showed up. You stayed consistent when it was inconvenient. You showed discipline when no one was watching. You chose growth over comfort, focus over distraction, and vision over fear. That internal alignment matters. Momentum is built quietly before it is revealed publicly. What looks sudden to others is actually the outcome of sustained commitment, refined character, and relentless belief. What feels sudden is often misunderstood because people only see the moment of arrival, not the years of alignment that made it possible. Breakthroughs rarely announce themselves while they are being built. They take shape quietly through daily discipline, repeated choices, and a commitment to growth when quitting would have been easier. The moment something shifts dramatically, it can look like luck, timing, or coincidence, but in reality, it is the natural outcome of steady preparation meeting the right opportunity. Long-term preparation happens in obscurity. It takes place when no one is applauding, when progress feels slow, and when results seem distant. It is built in early mornings, late nights, and moments of self-doubt where persistence is the only option. Every time effort is repeated despite uncertainty, capacity increases. That capacity later determines how much opportunity can be handled when it arrives all at once. Preparation is not just about skill, it is about mindset. It involves developing patience, resilience, and the ability to stay focused without immediate reward. When the internal foundation is strong, external changes can happen quickly. What looks like a sudden rise is actually the mind finally being ready to support a higher level of responsibility and pressure. Many people abandon preparation too early because they expect visible progress before internal growth is complete. They stop just before the moment when consistency would have turned into momentum. The truth is that progress compounds quietly. Small improvements stack up unseen until they reach a tipping point where change becomes undeniable and rapid. When opportunity arrives, it does not slow down to accommodate hesitation. It moves quickly and demands readiness. Those who have prepared are able to respond without panic because the work has already been done. The confidence to act in critical moments comes from repetition, not from hope. Preparation removes fear by replacing it with competence. What feels sudden often shocks even the person experiencing it. One day things look unchanged, and the next day doors open, recognition appears, or progress accelerates. This contrast creates the illusion of overnight success, but nothing about it is accidental. Every challenge faced earlier was shaping judgment, strengthening discipline, and refining direction. Long-term preparation also teaches discernment. It trains a person to recognize real opportunities instead of distractions. When growth has been intentional, clarity is sharper and decisions are made faster. This clarity allows movement without hesitation, which makes progress appear even more sudden to those watching from the outside. Preparation creates stability in moments of rapid change. Without it, sudden success can overwhelm, confuse, or collapse. With it, expansion is sustainable. The ability to manage pressure, expectations, and increased demand is the direct result of earlier seasons that felt slow, heavy, or repetitive. There is a hidden phase before every visible shift. In that phase, nothing seems to be happening, yet everything is being established. Strength is being built beneath the surface, patterns are being formed, and identity is being refined. The absence of visible results does not mean absence of progress. It often means that deeper work is underway. When the breakthrough finally happens, it validates every moment of preparation that once felt pointless. The waiting, the effort, and the persistence all converge into one decisive moment that changes direction. What others call sudden is simply the reveal of work that refused to stop even when no immediate reward was guaranteed. Pressure often arrives when something significant is about to shift. It is easy to interpret tension as a sign that things are going wrong, but more often it means that growth is demanding expansion. Pressure shows up when old limits are being challenged and comfort zones are no longer sufficient. It is not designed to break you, but to reveal how close you are to the next level. When progress is distant, resistance is minimal. But as momentum builds, demands increase. Expectations rise, responsibility expands, and the weight feels heavier. This is not regression. It is evidence that you are being stretched to carry more than you have before. Pressure is the environment where strength is tested and capacity is increased. Failure tends to come with stagnation, not pressure. When nothing is happening, there is little resistance. Pressure only appears when movement is occurring. The discomfort you feel is the friction between who you have been and who you are becoming. That friction signals transition, not defeat. Many people retreat when pressure intensifies because they misread it as a warning instead of a confirmation. They assume struggle means they took a wrong turn, when in reality it means they are nearing something that requires greater focus and resilience. Growth rarely feels comfortable, and progress often announces itself through tension before it reveals itself through results. Pressure exposes areas that need refinement. It highlights habits that no longer serve you, mindsets that limit you, and patterns that must be upgraded. This exposure is not punishment, it is preparation. The closer you get to expansion, the more refined your approach must become. As proximity increases, distractions become louder and doubts become sharper. This is because transition threatens old identities and familiar routines. Pressure forces clarity by demanding decisions. It pushes you to prioritize, simplify, and commit at a higher level than before. Those who learn to endure pressure without panic develop confidence that cannot be shaken. They understand that discomfort is temporary, but the growth it produces is lasting. Instead of resisting pressure, they learn to stand within it, knowing it is shaping them for what comes next. Pressure also reveals alignment. When you are moving in the right direction, the demands increase because the outcome requires more discipline, focus, and maturity. Ease is not always a sign of alignment, so many times it is the sign that you are playing too small. Pressure often indicates that you are engaging with something meaningful. The closer you get to breakthrough, the more intense the internal battle becomes. Doubt questions your readiness, fear exaggerates the risk, and fatigue challenges your resolve. These are not signals to stop, but tests of commitment. They appear when progress is real and irreversible. Pressure is not the enemy of progress. It is the evidence of proximity. It confirms that you are close enough for growth to demand more from you, close enough for change to feel heavy, and close enough for transformation to require your full attention. Action is the turning point where intention becomes movement and potential begins to convert into progress. Ideas, plans, and preparation hold power, but they remain dormant until action activates them. Acceleration does not respond to waiting or overthinking. It responds to movement. The moment action begins, momentum starts to form, and what once felt slow begins to shift. Many delays are not caused by lack of ability, but by hesitation. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of uncertainty can keep progress suspended. Action interrupts that paralysis. Even imperfect movement creates feedback, clarity, and direction. Once movement starts, adjustments become easier and confidence begins to grow. Acceleration is rarely triggered by massive leaps. It is ignited by consistent steps. Small actions repeated over time create rhythm, and rhythm builds speed. Progress compounds when action becomes habitual. What starts as effort eventually turns into flow, and flow naturally increases pace. Waiting for perfect conditions often results in missed opportunities. Conditions improve after action, not before it. Movement reveals information that planning alone cannot provide. Each step forward uncovers the next, creating a pathway that only exists because action was taken. Action shifts focus from outcome to execution. Instead of being consumed by distant results, attention moves to what can be done now. This present moment engagement reduces overwhelm and increases effectiveness. Acceleration happens when energy is directed toward execution rather than anticipation. Once action is taken, resistance begins to lose its grip. Doubt weakens when confronted by effort, and fear loses influence when challenged by motion. Progress creates evidence, and evidence builds belief. This cycle fuels faster and more confident movement. Opportunities often respond to visible effort. Action signals readiness and commitment. When movement is consistent, resources, support, and connections tend to align. Acceleration increases because effort attracts alignment, and alignment reduces friction. Action also sharpens decision-making. Each move provides insight into what works and what doesn't. This clarity speeds up future choices and reduces wasted energy. The more you act, the faster you learn, and the faster learning shortens the distance to results. Momentum is fragile at the beginning, but powerful once established. Early action may feel heavy, but persistence lightens the load. As momentum builds, effort produces greater returns. Progress begins to move faster, not because tasks disappear, but because confidence and clarity increase. Acceleration is not the result of pressure alone, but of deliberate movement under pressure. Action transforms readiness into results and effort into advancement, creating forward motion that continues to build as long as movement is sustained.